Well, I am so excited to welcome today's guest. He, in my opinion, is the star of this episode. It was his first episode ever on The Big Bang Theory, Season 2, Episode 20, titled The Hofstadter Isotope. You know him best as Stuart Bloom, the incomparable, amazing Kevin Sussman.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Wow.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Good to see this thing again.
The Kleenex.
You stole this.
The Rubik's
or is this
Cube.
a replica?
Well, that's actually a replica. And Steve Malaro said that on his episodes that he does, he's bringing in the original so that we'll have that in here.
Yeah.
Now,
Is the original it's like a fabric-y thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it. He has a few things at home and stuff. So I told him to bring everything he's got.
Yeah, people always ask me, was there something from the set that I took?
Yeah.
And I screwed up royally because I remember at the time they were packing up the comic book store.
Okay.
And I was looking around, what can I take as a memento?
Yeah.
And the thing is, everything in the comic book store is stuff that you can buy in a comic book store. So I felt like it just didn't feel right.
Right.
And it wasn't until they packed everything up and weeks later, I remembered I should have taken the clipboard, Stuart's clipboard.
Yes.
That he almost always had.
Yes.
And it was the same clipboard from my first, from the first season for the next 11 seasons, and the same stack of paper that all these doodles and lines and just things to remember and all this stuff. And that clipboard meant so much, and I didn't think of it till it was too late.
Do you know what's funny? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you going to say after that?
No, just that I assume at this point, I just imagine it, at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark with that giant warehouse with it. It's it's gone forever.
Well, it's so funny. I remember you telling me this story in the book, and I actually emailed Malaro in Holland afterwards to see if there was a way to get it for you. I was like, isn't it
that's
in...
so nice of you.
I was like, isn't it in the prop room or something? Or like in the archives and everything? And they're like, I don't know, but so anyway, so we should still go in there at some point. It's at the Warner Brothers lot to try to find this clipboard, because I remember I was like, it meant so much to Kevin Sussman. Can we try to find this? Because, I'm like, they couldn't have thrown it away, right? No way.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That'd be on brand. That would track.
The missing clipboard. It totally would. Okay, so before we hop into this particular episode, we have to backtrack a little bit, because you have quite a story of your kind of journey into the world of The Big Bang Theory. You originally auditioned for the role of Leonard, but then the role of Wolowitz was written for you. Tell everybody what happened in case they don't know.
Well, I did read for Wolowitz. It wasn't offered to me. I mean, I guess Chuck wrote it for me, but I had to read for Jim Burrows.
Right.
In Chuck's office. It was just him and Jim. And I read, and Jim Burrows just said, yeah, okay. and that was it. And
was that intimidating to audition for Chuck Lorre and Jimmy Burrows in the same room?
Actually, more Jim Burrows, because Chuck Lorre I wasn't as familiar with.
Right.
Jim Burrows, I mean,
icon.
The Friends, Taxi, everything. And I guess because I didn't do well for Leonard.
Okay.
Sort of, I was, somehow that gave me like a weird relaxation, because I was like, well, I already screwed up. So, and it was, my Howard was completely different than Simon's. I was doing much more of a, like I think the audition, I remember vaguely being like, Penny, what are you doing? What are you doing tonight?
A little bit of like on? Joey Tribbiani.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my Staten Island roots. Yeah.
I would die to
and
see
it's
the
so
audition
crazy
footage.
because it's the antithesis of Stuart, which is why I also, so then when Chuck actually wrote Stuart for me, I was like, can I do Stuart in certain ways was a little too much like me, and I didn't really have anything, I didn't feel as much like I had something to hook on to.
Right.
And then also before, I'm going ahead a little bit, I guess, but before Stuart, he had written Kripke
for you.
For me as well, but I couldn't do that because of I was working on a movie.
And the role was not Barry Kripke, but Stuart Kripke.
It was?
Yes, that's what John Ross Bowie said. That it was
I did not know
originally
that.
Stuart Kripke, and then and you were doing a movie, so
Yeah.
you couldn't do the role. So then when John got it, they changed the name to Barry.
Wow.
I mean, they were really holding out for you here, Kevin. They were like, we got to get him. We're going to say that Stuart name. It's really amazing. We'll be here all day if we go into the whole story about you had a verbal commitment to play Wolowitz, and then ABC wouldn't let you out of your contract from Ugly Betty. And I have to say, throughout over 200 hours of interviews for the book, the revelation you gave me about that you had the role of Wolowitz first floored me like none other, because Simon did not know.
I didn't tell you that. You told me that you had been told. I never told anybody.
You didn't, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back till I can figure this out. You told me that you were celebrating at your manager's house.
Oh, yeah. No, I just meant the revelation when you discovered that I had never told anybody. Right. I didn't realize that Bill and Chuck had told because I just...
Yeah, you never told anybody. And I was floored, and Simon didn't know. And I will never forget finding out this information, which just, like I said, I was flabbergasted. I was talking to Melissa Rausch, and I was like, oh my God, Simon doesn't know about this, because Simon had always wondered. There was a week in between when he auditioned and he got the role, and he's like, something was going on. He had a feeling that he wasn't the first choice, but he didn't know what happened. And I felt like it was kind of like a conversation of telling someone that they have been adopted and they had no idea their entire lives. And I remember talking to Melissa and being like, oh my God, I got to tell Simon this. How am I going to do it? And I was so scared because I wanted to handle it with such sensitivity. But the fact that you didn't tell anybody this entire run of the series, one of the things that made me have so much respect for you and just... I was so blown away, is that you didn't want anybody to know because you didn't want it to affect their performances or anybody else. And I thought that was so upstanding of you to do.
Oh, thank you. I don't see it that way. I didn't feel like I was doing, I just didn't want to introduce a vibe that I did not necessarily think would be helpful. And really ultimately, it worked out great. Simon is freaking hilarious. I mean, he's amazing. And just, there was never, I didn't want there to be, I guess just like a vibe around it.
Right.
And Simon and I were such good friends. I mean, a little bit of me now, knowing that he knows, feels a little duplicitous, but I still think it was the right thing to do because it didn't ever interfere with anybody's work.
Right. But that speaks to your character. And when I did tell Simon, he took it so well. He's like, it's kind of like finding out that your wife dated the same guy that, that you're good friends with or something. And he did ask me, he said, is it okay if I reach out to Kevin and let him know that I now know? And I said, of course. And, but yeah, I was floored, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do with this information? Because it was a lot. So tell me then, when you got the call to come on as Stuart Bloom and do this episode, please tell me they did not make you audition.
No, they didn't.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't. But at that time, I also was like, that's what I was saying when I was like, I hope that I don't screw this up because they haven't seen me for this role. And even though it was a good role for me, I mean, I used to work at a comic book store and they didn't know that. That was just a coincidence. But I also kind of think that if Stuart were originally a series regular role and I had to audition for it. Mm-hmm. I'm convinced that I wouldn't have gotten it because testing in front of, for the comic book guy, I feel like, there would have been notions about what a comic book store guy is.
Right.
And for me, I never thought of Stuart really that much in terms of character-y comic book store guy.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, so I just got to do what I did at the comic book store, which is fold T-shirts and take inventory and with my clipboard. And yeah.
Did they tell you at the time when they offered the role of Stuart to you that this was going to be recurring, or did you only think it was one episode at first?
I can't remember. I think maybe it was like, I don't remember if they said it was just a guest star or a guest star with a possible recurring.
Okay.
I absolutely had no idea that I would wind up doing so many episodes and eventually become a series regular.
Yeah.
And having just watched that first episode, Stuart's first appearance, I remembered there was a scene in which I was absolutely certain I would never be on the show again. There's a scene where I'm having an argument with Sheldon about who should be, about Robin, the different Robin variations. And they rewrote, and I was I overworked it is what it is.
Okay.
Before I did too much, rehearsing on my own.
Right.
Which is already not great.
Yes.
And then they rewrote that line and they it was mostly the same, but they changed a section of it that night. And since I had sort of learned it by rote, it was like throwing a wrench into
crap. Yes.
And I kept screwing it up to like a comical level. I don't remember how many takes we did, but it was my first appearance. And I was like, sort of like, okay, we're now on take. I don't know. It's again, that point of you've screwed this up so badly that I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not working on this show again. And I was able to relax and finally get through it.
Right. And it's completely understandable. I mean, Kaylee Cuoco was the rare person who she didn't really rehearse. You could give her anything in the world. She'd be like, great, let's go. But you were more of the norm. Like Jim Parsons had to have everything memorized. And sometimes they'd switch up things on him and he'd be like, crap. Like, this is not how I planned it. It's very hard to do.
Yeah. Well, he would walk around with, always have like a stack of index cards.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because everyone else is goofing around and having fun. And so much of it, he was just studying.
Yeah.
So when he was the first one after 12 years to be like, okay, I've had enough. It kind of makes sense. It's a tremendous amount of work.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, you just mentioned one of your first scenes. So let's listen to your very first scene now on The Big Bang Theory. And I can't wait to talk to you about it. And remember, you can find all episodes of The Big Bang Theory on Max.
Oh, hey, Leonard. I help you find something?
Oh, hey, Stuart. This is Penny. She's just looking for some comic books.
Oh, really? Wow. Blink twice if you're here against your will.
Yeah. I think we're fine, Stuart.
Okay, well, let me know if you need anything.
Thanks. Oh, seems like a nice guy.
You mean for someone who's into comic books?
No. I just meant for... Yeah.
What do you think when you see that now?
Hair. I had so much hair, more hair, and so young. How old?
That was 15 years ago. So,
yes, oh my goodness. I mean, like, I feel like a different person. Just my, I can't, I'm at a loss for words.
For words.
It's a profound, because also I never watched, and probably to my detriment, while I was on the show, I didn't watch the show because I just had it in my head that I didn't want to become self-conscious.
Yeah.
And now in hindsight, especially now post-COVID where everything is on tape and anytime I have an audition, I have to watch myself. I realize, it probably would have behooved me to actually watch the episodes. Anyway, not having seen it in 15 years, I just intensely profound, and also I miss the show, and Kaylee's.
That was Penny's first time in the comic book store.
Oh yeah.
That was her first time there.
She nailed it. She nailed it. I was thinking watching this episode, her ability to, as the straight man, even though she was also a funny character in her own right, but for the most part, she was the glue. She was the straight man that all the crazy characters were. She had an amazing ability to be the audience's perspective on the nerdy, weird guys and sort of point out how nerdy and weird they are, but in a way that came from love.
Yes.
Like she didn't belittle them. She would maybe tease or like react in a way. But yeah, I don't know. It's jarring. It's to watch. I don't know. Maybe in a couple of minutes I'll have further thoughts.
Well, you know what's so funny? The thing that I observed the most after watching this episode is that Stuart had some swagger and confidence.
Oh,
and I was like, whoa, who is this guy? Because he was not the same Stuart that we ended up with in the end. Like, he was quite forward.
Yeah.
And had that confidence.
Yes, that's a great point. I noticed that too. In fact, it makes me think, I wonder, you already spoke to Chuck, I guess. It's too late to ask him, but
I'm going to see him after this episode, actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I wonder if Chuck was because Stuart originally was almost in a way a normie.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Chuck was thinking, if he were to continue to use this set and the Stuart character, that Stuart would be more like a male version of that straight man energy, like dealing with the guys. And that took a whole turn, and Stuart went down the whole other path. Avenue. Yeah.
Well, we also saw Captain Sweatpants, I think for the first time also in this episode. And that character took on a life of its own. It was just an extra. Yeah. But Captain Sweatpants, Captain Sweatpants is actually not in the book. And someone wrote me and said, please tell me you interviewed Captain Sweatpants. And I was like, no. I didn't have room for Captain Sweatpants. Did you know the actor that played this guy?
Well,
did you ever talk to him?
Oh yeah, super nice guy. I think I vaguely remember that he was a creative type himself. I want to say that he was writing. He was a writer.
Okay.
But super nice guy. I don't remember that much. Not because of him, but just because of my own crappy memory 15 years later.
Very hard.
Yeah. And there were a couple of background guys in the comic book store that reappeared that were all super great and just a great look and they knew the mission.
That's so funny. I love that. Well, speaking of the confidence and banter that we just saw, there's another scene that you have just with Kaylee when she comes, or just with Penny, I should say, when she comes up to the counter and needs some help with buying a gift. So let's listen to that.
Excuse me.
Oh, hello again.
Hi. What would you recommend as a present for a 13-year-old boy?
13-year-old girl. But if you're dead set on a comic book, try this.
Oh, Hellblazer. What's this about?
A morally ambiguous confidence man who smokes, has lung cancer, and is tormented by the spirits of the undead.
Well, if that doesn't make me the favorite aunt, I don't know what will. Is this me?
Depends. Do you like it?
Wow, it's really good.
Yes, that's you.
That's so sweet. But what if I didn't like it?
It'd still be you, but I'd feel like an idiot.
Okay, who drew that picture of Penny? Do you know? Did you?
No,
Okay.
I did not.
Okay, so it wasn't you.
I don't know. I don't know who drew that.
I was like, if he did that, that's very impressive.
No.
But also in that scene, Stuart gets Penny's number. Again, as I was rewatching this, I was like, my God, this guy. Like,
Yeah.
look at him go.
Yeah, he was a charming guy in that episode, and only that episode.
Well, a little bit more in the second episode that you were into.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah, he goes on another date.
Yeah, with Penny. What did you make of Stuart's style the first time you were fitted in the wardrobe? Was that like something that was comparable to what you wore in your everyday life with like the flannel and the shirt underneath, or no?
It was.
It was?
No, totally. It was great. I loved it. It's so comfortable and just like the type of stuff that I wore at the time. And also like compared to other wardrobe stuff that I've had to wear that's super uncomfortable, or a suit, and they always give you brand new shoes that aren't broken in and you're sliding all over the place. It was awesome. If there were a wardrobe that I could choose to wear for 11 years, there it is.
That would be it.
Yeah.
What did you audition? What did you wear to the audition for Wolowitz? Do you remember?
I don't, but it wouldn't have been the type of stuff that he wore.
Right.
The crazy, colorful, over-the-top stuff.
I mean, who could have, thought that outfit up that
exactly.
Howard would eventually wear.
No, that takes some serious, like, art direction type of
yes.
wardrobe design, costume design. I probably wore something more similar to Stuart, but maybe a little cleaned up.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
In the next scene that we see, I'm telling you, this whole episode is about you. It's like welcome to your life here. Stuart is coming out of Penny's apartment because they're going to go on their date. They're going to an art show. I even wrote in my notes, "Go Stuart!" Like, I was very happy. So let's listen to that clip.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, Penny. And Stuart. Hey, Stuart.
Hey, guys.
So what are you kids up to?
Stuart has a piece in an art show that's opening tonight.
And you guys are going together. Great.
It is great. Really great. It's freaking awesome.
See you, Stuart.
Go back and watch this full episode on Max. First of all, I get such a kick out of Penny's outfit there. It's so demure for her. It looks like she's going to a bar mitzvah or something instead of a date with Stuart for an art show. But like, when fans meet you, is there a scene that they most want to talk to you about? Is it from the early seasons or like your first episode here, or is it later stuff? Or just, I don't know.
I get asked what my favorite scenes are a lot. And I always like the darkest stuff. Like there's I don't remember what episode, but Sheldon wants someone to drive him to the dentist. And he comes into the shop. He asks how I'm doing. I tell him that my therapist killed himself.
Right.
Blamed me in the note. That kind of stuff.
That's your favorite.
Yeah. Or you know what? Maybe the one where the comic store burns down.
Oh, God.
Is also great because those super dark moments, Stuart has the best stuff to do.
God.
Like at the end of that episode, he's standing there, the place is in ruins, a chunk of the ceiling falls, and he looks at it and says, "That could have killed me. Just my luck." and that side of Stuart for me was always my favorite stuff to play.
I love that. But I mean, this should be up there where Stuart goes on a date with Penny. I mean, that not every character got to do that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of fans do. Before I even realized it, do point out that Stuart, it's not lost on the fans of this show that Stuart took a transformation. And what I discovered is that I guess the fan lore is that the way that the fans you justify it is that after he's rejected by Penny, he loses all his confidence. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, we also get a little bit of the Stuart that we now know in this next scene when they come back from the date. So let's listen to that.
Oh, come on. I think it's nice that Captain Sweatpants showed up to your art opening.
Yeah, it would have been nicer if he hadn't touched all the cheese.
It's kind of early. Do you want to maybe come in for some coffee or something?
Oh, gee, it's a little late for coffee, isn't it?
Oh, you think coffee means coffee? That is so sweet.
Now that feels more in line with Stuart that we know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of clueless and comic book nerd.
As I was watching that scene the other night, I was so curious about this. You reminded me so much of Seth Cohen in the OC. Did you ever audition for Adam Brody's role by any chance?
No.
No?
No.
God, I feel like you would have been perfect for that back in the day. Like that just gave me such Seth Cohen vibes as I was watching
call
that.
Up my agent and
to be like, what the
find
heck?
out why I didn't
Come
get
on.
in.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking of. And what was it like working with Jim? Because you really did have a lot to do with him in this episode.
Well, he and I, when I auditioned for Leonard, it was with Jim. So I already knew him from that. But now coming into the show on season 2 and all of the characters were so fully formed, it was very impressive to see how locked in they all were to all these characters. Yeah.
Did you and Jim stay in touch from when you first auditioned for Leonard until the end of season 2
No,
when you
not
did this?
really.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that you guys auditioned together for that.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are
I think he was already cast. I'm not sure. Oh,
yes.
okay.
He was the first one that was cast, and he had to audition with a lot of different actresses also for the Penny character then and different things. But I would assume he remembered you when you did come back.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember about your first curtain call for this show? Because I assume you had one at the end of this episode.
Yeah, I guess so. They always
was
did
that memorable.
Yeah. Well, it was my first multicam show.
Really?
Yeah, I had never done a sitcom.
Wow.
I had done theater and stuff, but not this. So I guess, I don't know, it was probably like most of them in which the audience is going so wild that I always could never hear if they called my name. So it's always like that kind of waiting
You're
to
like
go.
Cinnamon the dog, and then here comes you out there being like, taking a bow.
Yeah. And just in general, at that time, just the awe of the studio audience, because by season 2, the studio audience were people that really wanted to be there. The show already had a fan base that was super excited. And to just, be doing it in front of an audience that was so loud and so energetic was something that I had never experienced.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, I just can't believe this was your first multicam show.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, and at the time I was thinking, now this will be my last multicam show.
And little did you know that the episode after this next one, you would be back to go on another date with Penny. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I was shocked and delighted when they asked me back. I was like, what? Oh, I guess they didn't see the...
Oh, man. All right. Well, we're going to play a game now called Nerd Ball. And I'm thinking this game will be perfect for you because you did work in a comic book store, and I feel like you might have some good answers, but we'll see. And if not, we'll just edit it out and make you look like a genius. How's that?
Okay, great.
Okay. Star Trek or Star Wars?
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars, but I understand to have street cred in nerddom, it's Star Trek.
What do you prefer, sci-fi or fantasy?
You know, I like both of them, but I give the nod to sci-fi.
Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies?
The Lord of the Rings movies.
Have you been to Hobbiton in New Zealand?
I've been to New Zealand, but not in the right part of New Zealand. But I still, while I was driving around New Zealand, I was thinking, Lord of the Rings, this is Lord of the Rings, but not the official Lord of the Rings.
Right, you gotta go.
But the continent
Yes.
is a very Lord of the Rings. It's the most Lord of the Rings continent out of all your continents.
Have you been to all the continents?
No.
No. Okay. Hoth or Endor?
Endor is the Ewok. So I think Endor is the Ewok thing. I mean, Hoth, because Empire Strikes Back is a better movie.
C-3PO or R2-D2?
In what way? Just like which one I like better?
Yeah, which one do you like better?
The weird thing is I've never even thought to, like, I've never given that any thought, which all the other things.
If
Like,
you could have a sidekick, if you're Batman and this could be your Robin, who would you pick? C-3PO or R2-D2?
I guess C-3PO because he talks. And so, unless like I'm like Luke Skywalker and I understand R2-D2, but R2-D2 just had little quips. I feel like C-3PO you can get in a discussion.
Right. That makes sense.
You're
okay,
waiting for a bus or...
Here's your Batman question. Which one do you prefer? Christian Bale Batman or Michael Keaton Batman?
These really are difficult questions. I mean, Michael Keaton, of course, Michael Keaton. Any question that has Michael Keaton as an option is Michael Keaton. That said, I also love Christian Bale as Batman. And I love those Christian Bale Batman movies. But the answer, of course, has to be Michael Keaton.
Okay. Who do you prefer, Captain Kirk or Spock?
Spock.
Would you rather have a pet R2-D2 or a pet BB-8?
R2-D2.
Do you know what's funny? One of the questions I asked Chuck and Peter Roth was if you were to rescue an animal and you were going to name the animal after a Big Bang Theory character, which character would you name them after? Do you know what they said? They both had the same answer.
Captain Sweatpants?
Stuart.
Really?
They both answered Stuart.
I would like to know what's going on in their psyche.
That's what they... So if you were going to rescue a pet, what character would you name this pet after?
From Big Bang?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a girl, I guess Mrs. Wolowitz.
Aw, that's cute.
And if it's a boy, Mr. Wolowitz.
Well done. Also, I really want to rescue an animal now for Peter Roth and Chuck Lorre and name it Stuart. Be like, I have Stuart for you. Okay. Would you rather have... I can't remember if I actually asked you this yet or not. I don't think I did. Would you rather have a Wookiee best friend or a pet Ewok?
A best friend or a pet? I mean, Wookiee best friend.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't be afraid to go into bars,
Would you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
A pet... Well, it depends. I mean, does the unicorn have special powers? Can it grant wishes? Pet dragon, I guess. Same reason. I could get into bars. Nobody will mess with me. I have a fear of getting assaulted in a bar.
Okay, I'm picking up on that right now. We'll schedule a therapist meeting after this to work through that. Okay, finally, would you rather have Hawkeye's aim or Hulk's strength?
I was thinking MASH for a second there. Hawkeye's aim or Hulk's strength? Does it come with all the downside of being the Hulk?
Oh God, now you're above my pay grade here.
Personal psychosis. He's angry all the time. But if it's just their skills, I guess the one that would come in more handy is the strength. If I have to open a bottle for my wife, I just get really angry and
be able to do it.
Yeah.
I approve.
I mean, that's the practical answer.
Okay.
I guess if we're just if we're not talking practicality of just what's cooler, maybe the thing with the aim.
Okay. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you know, what's funny is as we do this game, I'm picking up on, I think, how you act as well, which is you think through things so well and come up with different scenarios. And I see you do it with a game like this, and it's what makes you so special and so good at what you do. But the thought process that you have into it, it's pretty impressive.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on your first episode.
Yeah, wow.
Do you remember the name of it now? That we're at the end of it?
The Hofstadter...
Almost there.
Hofstadter incident? The Hofstadter...
Starts with an I.
Isotope.
Well done.
Why is it called the Hofstadter isotope?
Beats the heck out of me. We'll figure it out. When I have you on for the next episode, we'll discover what an isotope is.
Okay.
Something
I'll bone up.
sciencey. Something sciencey, that's what I know.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This podcast was produced by Warner Brothers Unscripted Television in association with HBO Max. And remember, you can stream every episode of The Big Bang Theory on HBO Max.